3 World Cup matches, 3 completely different stories, and yet all 3 may have changed the course of this tournament. England dominated possession, broke records, controlled almost every phase of the game, and still couldn't score. Croatia came into their match knowing their World Cup could be over in a matter of hours. Instead, one veteran-led performance kept their dreams alive. And Colombia? They became one of the first teams to punch their ticket to the knockout rounds. But the scoreline doesn't tell the full story. By the end of this video, you'll understand why England fans are worried, why Croatia suddenly looked dangerous again, and why Colombia might be emerging as one of the most underrated teams in the entire tournament. Let's start with the result that shocked the football world. On paper, England against Ghana looked like a mismatch. One of the tournament favorites, a squad packed with Premier League stars, a team expected to challenge for the World Cup. Against a Ghana side, many analysts expected to spend most of the game defending. And that's exactly what happened. England controlled possession from the opening whistle. The ball spent long periods in Ghana's half. England circulated possession patiently, moved defenders around, and attempted to create openings. But there was one major problem. They couldn't find the breakthrough. Every time England looked ready to score, Ghana found another defensive solution. Blocks, interceptions, recoveries, goal line defending. The longer the match stayed scoreless, the more confidence Ghana gained. You could actually see the momentum shift psychologically. England still had the ball. England still controlled territory. But Ghana began believing they could survive. And eventually they did. A 0-0 draw that felt completely different depending on which side you supported. For England, it felt like 2 points dropped. For Ghana, it felt like a victory. The biggest talking point isn't the result. It's the way England struggled. This wasn't a match where England lacked possession. It wasn't a match where England couldn't enter dangerous areas. The issue was chance quality. Ghana defended with incredible discipline. Their defensive block stayed compact. Central passing lanes were crowded. England were repeatedly forced into wider areas. And while crossing can be effective, it also becomes predictable when it's your primary attacking route. Harry Kane found himself isolated for long stretches. Creative players had less space between the lines. The result was territorial dominance without enough clear-cut opportunities. This is the type of challenge England will face again later in the tournament. Elite knockout football often comes down to breaking down organized defenses, and Ghana provided a blueprint that future opponents will study carefully. While England were leaving the field, frustrated, Croatia were fighting for survival. The equation was simple: lose, and the World Cup dream would be hanging by a thread. Win, and everything changes. For long periods, however, Croatia looked nervous. Panama defended well. They stayed organized. They limited clear chances. And they made Croatia work for every meter of space. Then came the moment that changed everything. Ante Budimir. A classic striker's finish. One opportunity, one decisive touch, one goal. And suddenly Croatia were back in business. What made this victory impressive wasn't the scoreline. It was the maturity. Croatia never panicked. They trusted their structure, trusted their experienced players, and eventually found the winning moment. There was also something symbolic about this victory. Luka Modrić made another major World Cup appearance for Croatia. For more than a decade, Modric has been the heartbeat of this national team. Every major tournament story seems to involve him somehow. And while he may not dominate matches physically the way he once did, his influence remains enormous. His positioning, his passing decisions, his ability to control tempo, those qualities continue to shape Croatia's identity. When younger players feel pressure, Modric provides calm. And in tournament football, that experience can be priceless. Croatia may not be among the favorites, but they are exactly the type of team nobody wants to face in a knockout match. Now let's talk about Colombia. Because while England grabbed headlines and Croatia created drama, Colombia quietly produced one of the most important results of the day. The final score was only 1-0, but the match itself was much more dominant than that. Colombia controlled possession, created chances, forced saves, pinned DR Congo deep into their own half. At times, it felt like a matter of when, not if, the breakthrough would arrive. But football can be cruel. The longer a favorite fails to score, the greater the risk. One counterattack, one mistake, one set piece, and everything changes. That's why patience became Colombia's greatest weapon. They kept attacking, kept moving the ball, kept creating pressure. Eventually, the resistance broke. Daniel Muñoz found the decisive moment and delivered the winning goal. The celebration wasn't just about scoring. It was about qualification. It was about relief. And it was about announcing Colombia as a serious contender. Sometimes statistics tell a story better than highlights. Colombia finished with over 60% possession. They produced 20 shots, 9 shots on target, and nearly 2 expected goals. Those numbers reflect control. Not luck, not randomness, control. The most encouraging aspect for Colombia fans is that they are generating opportunities consistently. Teams that create chances repeatedly tend to go deep in tournaments. And Colombia are beginning to show exactly that profile. Now let's look at what these results mean in the standings, because this is where the World Cup picture becomes really interesting. Starting with Group K, Colombia sit at the top with 6 points from 2 matches and have officially secured qualification for the knockout stage. 2 wins from 2. Job done. What's impressive is not just the points total, it's the consistency. Colombia have controlled large portions of both matches and look increasingly comfortable as the tournament progresses. Portugal remains second on 4 points and are in a strong position to qualify as well. DR Congo stay alive with 1 point, but now face a difficult final matchday scenario. Uzbekistan sit bottom with 0 points and are on the brink of elimination. So while Colombia can already start thinking about the knockout rounds, the battle for second place is still very much alive. And that's important because finishing first in the group could potentially provide a more favorable knockout path. Every point matters from here. Now let's move to Group L. And this is where things become incredibly tense. England lead the group with 4 points. Ghana also have 4 points. Croatia are right behind them on 3. And Panama have been eliminated with 0 points. What makes this group fascinating is how little separates the top 3 teams. One result can completely change everything. England are still in control of their own destiny. But after failing to score against Ghana, there are genuine questions heading into the final matchday. Ghana will feel confident after shutting down one of the tournament favorites. And Croatia suddenly have momentum after their crucial victory over Panama. That makes Croatia perhaps the most dangerous team in the group right now. Not because they're leading, but because they have belief. And momentum in tournament football can be incredibly powerful. So as we head toward the final group matches, Group K already has 1 confirmed qualifier. But Group L? Group L is still wide open. And that's exactly the kind of drama that makes the FIFA World Cup special. So what do these results mean moving forward? England remain in a strong position. But questions have emerged. Can they consistently break down elite defensive structures? Croatia are suddenly alive again. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in tournament football. And one victory can completely transform belief. Then there's Colombia, perhaps the most intriguing team of the 3. They're qualified, they're growing in confidence, and they still look capable of improving. That combination should concern every potential opponent, because teams that peak at the right time become incredibly dangerous. One match exposed weaknesses, one match saved a campaign, and one match may have revealed a future dark horse. But now the question goes to you. Which team impressed you most today? England despite the draw, Croatia for keeping their hopes alive, or Colombia for securing qualification? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you enjoy tactical analysis, World Cup breakdowns, football documentaries, and daily tournament coverage, make sure you subscribe because the biggest stories of FIFA World Cup 2026 are only just beginning.